recording.
No safety net. We're ready to roll.
Well, technically there is a safety net, but no one needs to know that.
No one needs to know it yet.
No. I mean, if you think about it, to date we haven't edited any of these.
No, we haven't had to touch anything up. There hasn't been a big brain fart. And while we are completely allowed to swear and curse and say whatever we want,
we don't.
This is not FCC regulated. We just, it's just not. I don't want it to turn into that. And I don't want to say anything bad about Joe Rogan because his podcast is awesome, but it's almost too much. Like, I can't even listen to it around the kids.
Whenever you're constantly swearing, it makes you, I don't know, it doesn't make you look uneducated, but it makes you look like you don't know how to swear.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you got to use swearing tastefully.
As a punch.
Yes. And when you don't, I mean, it's just all the same.
F and F and F and F and F and F.
Yeah, when you're using it as and. Yeah. I mean, how do you go up from there?
We all have friends though that they use, instead of their audible pause is the F word.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah. And then and here's the thing that happens around the gym. You'll get the guys that come in that have no censor whatsoever.
Right.
And I literally need to like train them of how not to swear before like a kids class would go on.
Like, every time they do swear, you kick them or something.
I should, yeah, or choke them. Or...
Well, it's like when we're training, and if you lower your hand, you might just get a gentle pop to the chin.
There you go.
Say a swear word, it's just a round kick. Boom. Nothing teaches like a little bit of pain.
Just a little bit of pain.
Just a little bit.
You'd be surprised how pain can influence a person.
Do you ever have any knuckleheads? Today's April Fool's Day.
It is.
And
Happy April Fool's Day.
I hate April Fool's Day. I really loathe it with a passion. Do you ever get knuckleheads that try to do April Fool's pranks during your classes or in the gym?
No, but let's see. Today's Thursday. Or no, today's Friday.
Friday. No, it is Thursday. April Fool's.
Oh, but I'll have kids classes. The kids will do it. The kids will play April Fool's jokes on me until like next Saturday if they could.
I like kid April Fool's pranks.
Yeah.
Kid April Fool's pranks are funny, you know.
Yeah.
But adults, I can't handle it. I think why I don't like April Fool's Day is I do April Fool's Day wrong. Because I escalate things too quickly. Like, ooh, you put tape on the bottom of my mouse, and now my mouse doesn't work. That's funny. I slashed your tires. Like, oh, what did you do? You turned my computer screen upside down. That's hilarious. I'm going to follow you into the bathroom with a pillowcase and beat you senseless with a sock full of soap.
That's how, who knows? They might be able to take it up further.
I'm going to attack you with a ski pole. April Fools, haha, you lost your eye.
There you go. One of my friends on Facebook, their children go here, and one of his daughter actually dipped his toothbrush in pickle juice.
Okay.
And then put it back. That's good.
That's good.
I would if my child did that to me, I would be hysterical. I think that's hilarious.
Yeah, I would laugh. My kids put they stuffed my pillowcases with crumpled up paper.
That's good.
And then but they give it away. They're like, "Hey, Daddy, why don't you lay down and take a nap?" No one has literally ever said that to me ever. Take a nap, Daddy. Go ahead and take a nap. It's 3:30. And so as I'm walking to the bedroom and I see paper all over the floor, I feel like I know what's coming, but,
That's awesome.
That's okay.
Now, I think where I would have to draw the line is if you had to clean up a mess. Like the saran wrap over a toilet.
Did that to my father, and it actually worked.
Did it? I'm sure it'll work. Oh, here's one. A really good one. The saran wrap across a doorway and they slam into it.
Bang!
That's awesome.
I've never done that. I've seen it, but I've never pulled it off.
I think I have some saran wrap around here. We should do that to a student.
Doing that. Or you could hang a heavy bag and fill it with concrete.
There you go.
And tell people to work on their kicks.
And then they'll get Anderson Silva.
Yeah. Be like, it was April Fool's. You can't sue me.
Yeah, done.
April
Hey,
Fool's.
speaking of Anderson Silva, so he's calling out Conor McGregor. Did you hear about that? And this isn't.
I did not hear
This was a few days ago, so we're not talking April Fools anymore. So yeah, he's looking. He wants to fight Conor McGregor. Now Conor McGregor, it's official. Him and Diaz are going to have a rematch. UFC 200, Las Vegas. I want to say July 9th.
I have thoughts on that. I'm sure you have thoughts on that, but I want to talk about the Silva thing first because I don't know Silva wants to fight McGregor.
Yeah. Apparently, I want to say either he has a fight coming up or they have that Brazil card.
Will that happen? Do you think McGregor will fight him?
What weight would they fight at? That's ridiculous. So Conor McGregor can barely make 100. He can't make 170 pounds. He was what, 168?
168, and he said he had a full belly.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm willing to bet that he chugged a gallon of water, which is 9 pounds. I'm willing to bet he did something crazy like that just to make that. I don't think it's easy for him to get over 165. I don't think he wakes up at 165, but he wakes up at 160.
It's interesting because I heard people say that they felt that when Diaz and McGregor fought, when they were standing in the octagon across from each other, they were about a pound or two off from one another. You don't believe that's true?
No. That is true. It was 168 and 169.
Yeah, but that's what they weighed in at. If he chugged a gallon of water, he lost that the next day.
You mean the actual day of the fight?
They say they were fighting. When they were fighting, they were within a pound or two of one another. And I don't believe it. I just don't believe you can. Cutting weight and gaining weight, neither one's really easy to do well.
Sure. Yeah. I think Diaz was probably a little bigger. But
so why does McGregor want to do this again at 170?
So here's the thing. I thought about this. So first off, apparently Lorenzo and Dana and his head coach tried to talk him down off of this 170 ledge and said, let's have you fight at 155. And he said, no way, we're doing it 170. Now, here's my thought on the mental aspect surrounding this with Conor McGregor. And I'll start with a quick story of one of my good friends who used to do one of the wrestling tournaments up on campus. It was Penn State wrestling, but essentially anybody could wrestle, and you could enter in any division. So he was 170, and he'd do the heavyweight division.
Man.
Yeah, and there was actually a few years that he almost won it, pretty crazy.
So it's not just wild cockiness or an arrogance. He's very confident in himself at any weight.
So here's my thought. If you weigh 170 and you wrestle in a heavyweight division, no one's expecting you to win. You know what I mean? You're literally doing it for fun. If
nothing to lose.
Exactly, you don't. Yeah, and if you're Conor McGregor, well, okay, his excuse was, these big guys, they can take these hard shots. I wasn't expecting that. I need to calibrate that a little bit more, and if it was okay, this is at 155, well, no longer a bigger guy, really, you just came down a weight class. So what's the excuse? He doesn't have one. So I think that's what it is. Nope, we're going to do it at 170. We're going to have the rematch, and if he's bigger again and I can't knock him out, it's just the same excuse.
See, I kind of took what he said and what everyone else has been saying at face value. I feel like he says, I lost him at 170. I know I can do this. I'm going to get another shot at this. No excuses. Let's just do 170 again. If I beat him at 155, they'll say, of course, but you couldn't beat him at 170. So maybe that's he's a crazy man, and maybe he wants to get this bugaboo off his back. I wish they weren't fighting right now. I wish he was fighting Frankie Edgar. I think Frankie Edgar deserves the shot at the 145.
Yeah,
but he's not getting it. Now he's got to fight Aldo.
Well, Edgar and Aldo are fighting at UFC 200 for the interim title. And I made this prediction. We'll see if it holds true. I don't think Conor McGregor is returning to 145. I don't think he's going to make that ever again. So I think that interim title is going to turn into the real title. He'll lose it, and he'll stay at 55 or 70.
Do you believe he dodged Edgar? Do you think that he was ducking him?
Yeah. I think he was dodging the weight. I don't think he can make 145. It's tough. If you look at him when he fought Chad Mendes, there's one scene where he was behind. He was in. I guess he was still cutting or whatnot, and Uriah Faber found him backstage, and he kind of ruffled his hair or something like that, and Conor McGregor tapped him on the head like you little kid. And then they got into like a shoving match, and Conor looks like a skeleton. And he has sunglasses on.
Wow.
He has his big beard, which his beard looks like it weighs the most out of anything on his body.
He wets that up before he weighs in.
There you go. Yeah. So, anyways, I think I don't think he can make 170. I'm sorry, I don't think he can make 145. I think 170, 155 is where he stays. He vacates the belt, and
where do you think he wants to live? Do you think he wants to live at 155 or 170?
I think he's all about the Mooney. I think that's what it is.
Wherever the Mooney is.
That's right. Yeah. So
I think the Mooney is wherever he is. I think the Mooney's going to follow him.
That's a good point.
I love that we're just calling it Mooney now.
Mooney. Yeah.
He talks about it all the time. I mean, it
does.
seems like that's his driving force.
Yeah, I could see him taking fights anywhere. Now, apparently, here's another little shocker. Now, there's already been a few because of April Fools announcing these fake fights and whatnot. But Dana
This is
White,
why I hate April Fool's
I know.
Day.
Dana White is saying, though, that we're going to be shocked whenever they finish the UFC 200 card. Like, we're not already shocked that Conor McGregor is fighting Diaz, and then we have Jose Aldo fighting Frankie Edgar.
Which one's the main event? The interim title fight, or is it going to be?
I bet you it's Conor again.
Yeah, probably should be.
Yeah. We'll see.
It should be. No, does he get his win back?
What do you mean?
Do you think he beats Diaz?
No, I don't see it. I think
Because Diaz now knows I'm just taking him down this time.
Well, I don't know. He wants to hit the Stockton slap, and he wants to bust him up with boxing. But I do think Conor McGregor was landing the bigger shots. I think we talked about that on one of the other podcasts. Right. But I don't think Diaz is out of the running for a boxing match with him. You know what I mean? I think he could still win that. But I just don't see it going any other way. I mean, what was that? That was the second round that he lost by rear naked choke.
Second round, middle of the round.
That could have happened, at any or during any of the rounds. I really think that could have happened. The fifth round, Nate takes him down, chokes him. I think anytime Nate wants, he can take him down and choke him.
The best part was Nate didn't take him down. Conor kind of sloppily took Nate down, and Nate went, okay, anaconda.
Yep. Yeah, it should be interesting.
July, you said?
July, again, I want to say July 9th.
See, it's funny. You're already looking to UFC 200, and I know that you don't relate to this at all, but I'm just thinking about WrestleMania on Sunday night. WrestleMania!
So I was into wrestling whenever I was a young kid. I had the wrestling buddies. I had the Ultimate Warrior. And
I was a little warrior. I was huge.
Yeah.
I saw the Ultimate Warrior beat Andre the Giant in 35 seconds at the Jaffa Mosque in Altoona.
That's amazing.
It was awesome.
Wow.
Andre the Giant was dead a month later, and I was like, well, that explains why the fight was so short.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. No, I was a big wrestling fan. So what still pulls you to watch wrestling, pro wrestling?
I got out of it for the longest time. I was way into it as a kid, and then teenager, early 20s. That was like its peak, I think. With The Rock and Stone Cold and the Attitude Era and all of that. So I thought that was really big. Then I just kind of got out of it. It got boring to me, and as an adult male, I just wasn't into it as much.
Sure.
Then I had a little boy, and
he's all about it.
He is just I took him to wrestling, and we were in the front row, and he was head to toe in John Cena gear, and he was just like screaming and cheering, and you can't see me, and losing his mind. And then I get caught up in it, and I'm screaming and yelling. And so we watch wrestling every Monday night. And we get and if you watch any show long enough, if I watched The Young and the Restless, at some point I'd become invested in their stories, and I'd be like, I wonder what that guy with the mustache is going to do. That's the one dude on The Young and the Restless, that guy with the mustache. He's been there. Victor, I think his name is. He's been
wow,
there
you know the names.
I do. I'm weird. But that's how it is. And the wrestling's the same way. It's got The Undertaker and Hell in a Cell. You've got Triple H fighting on Sunday night.
So do you think that Evan could get into the UFC as much as he's into wrestling?
I do.
You pump up like the Conor McGregors and...
I try to. My wife actually has a bit of an issue with it more than wrestling. Now, she has an issue with the wrestling. She's like, they're hitting each other with chairs. I don't want him hitting people with chairs. But I show him like mixed martial arts and stuff like that. And she doesn't mind it until everybody's bleeding.
Sure.
Like the Conor McGregor Nate Diaz fight, she was like, please don't show him that fight. That guy's
a lot of
just
blood.
bleeding like crazy. He's 5, so he's got a couple more years before introduced, but I think he'll like it.
Sure.
He loves martial arts, although he still calls it karate chop, even though you don't teach karate.
I have never said karate to the kids, ever.
I don't say it at home, but he says, I'm going to karate chop. He asks me, are you going to karate chop, Daddy?
Yeah, I don't know where it comes from. Is there a show that they're watching now that says karate in it?
Probably. Kung Fu Panda.
Maybe, yeah. It's crazy. I've never said the word karate in a class, ever, unless I'm correcting them.
Is it offensive to you if
No,
people call what you're doing karate?
Well, it's not karate. I think it's offensive to karate to call what we're doing karate.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because we're not doing karate. Now, I have a background in a traditional art of Taekwondo. Whenever I was really young, I want to say at 5, I started doing Taekwondo.
Yeah.
And, I eventually earned some belts and whatnot, but I didn't get to my black belt in Taekwondo. So I do have a background in it. But what we're doing is not karate. It's for them, the best way to explain what they're doing is Jeet Kune Do, because it's with Jeet Kune Do being one of the original mixed martial arts. They're doing a little bit of everything.
And Jeet Kune Do, for people that don't know, that's Bruce Lee stuff.
That's Bruce Lee's martial art. Yeah. But
they should just rename it and call it Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee's. Well, no, that's what. So Jeet Kune Do is like the philosophy and whatnot. Jun Fong Gung Fu, what that literally translates to is Bruce Lee's martial arts. Okay. So yeah, that's what it is. So
and what is that? Jung Fong Jung Jun?
Jun Jun Fan Fan.
Jun Fan.
Gung Gung Fu.
Fu.
F-U.
Jun Gong Gong Fu. That's what I said. I feel like that's what I said. Jun Gong 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 Fu.
Jun Fong Gung Fu.
Jun Gong Gong. Don't have me say that in front of Ajar and Chai, please.
No.
This weekend he'll just kick me.
But no, that's what they're doing. But we call it youth martial arts. The idea being it's a mixed martial art. But if we called the youth martial arts program mixed martial arts for 5-year-olds, I have a feeling that we would have a much smaller turnout because parents would think that, oh, you mean that they're going to be fighting UFC.
I had a friend say that to me when I first signed Evan up here before I knew you personally.
Sure.
He was like, are you sure you want to go there? It's MMA, you'll have these kids ripping each other apart. And I was like, I don't think that's what they do. And then I got here and I just laugh now at that misconception. That's such a wild misconception. Even the adults aren't doing that.
I know.
There's no ripping each other apart. It's very... People are kinder to me here than at my job in radio.
I'll tell you what, I think that is because every day we do something that if we wanted to, we could go toe-to-toe and go 100% and try to knock each other's blocks off or try to rip each other's heads off. We could do that.
And in a month, we'd have no training partners.
Exactly. So we don't do that. But I think because that's there, now with sparring, for example, we're going light, but you still you gain a very high respect for everybody else because you know who can hit you and who can't hit you.
Yeah.
And you know when they're not trying to hit you. You know what I mean? And same thing with jiu-jitsu. You know who can choke you and who can arm bar you and whatnot, and you know when they're not trying.
You know who's not hurting you.
Exactly.
There's a difference between I didn't hurt you and I'm choosing not to hurt you.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Or I can't hurt you and I chose, or as opposed to I chose not to.
Right.
Yeah. So because we have that, and every day in some way we're doing a physical battle, I think that just releases like this weird ego tension that people get when they can't fight.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
I think that's what you see in workplaces. So because people can't fight,
right?
They have to think of another way to bring it out.
And radio does have big egos.
No,
big. There's big healthy ego, which is what I think I have.
Confidence.
I'm a bit of an egomaniac, but I also have an inferiority complex.
Well, and you know what I think that you put those into a pot and you mix it. You know what I think that comes out to?
Crazy.
Confidence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think you're confident.
Kind of the yin and yang. Yeah. Of themselves. All right, good.
So what kind of egos have you experienced in radio?
I mean, I've had people that have been they just get mad at me because I'm popular. Which is a problem I never had in high school. I never had anyone be like, he's too popular, I hate him. It was the opposite.
Sure.
But on the radio, people think that my shows were being promoted too much. People on my own station that should be rooting for the morning show, because a philosophy in radio is that mornings, as goes the morning, so goes the rest of the day.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay, so if the morning show is succeeding, it will drive people to midday. It will drive people to the afternoon, and then you bring them back to the morning show, and you just all start feeding on one another and helping each other. But there's just a lot of jealousy and a lot of and I get it. There are people that have gone to broadcasts as themselves, and people go up and goes, "Where's Jerry? Where's Jerry? I'd like to meet Jerry." And they're like, "Jerry's not here. I'm here." Sure. And it can start and that starts getting into infighting. I just kind of try to stay out of that as much as I can, but I've experienced it at every radio station I've been in. Mm-hmm. Every time there's always somebody that's upset with me, and I'm not trying to do anything other than be the best me I can be. And for whatever crazy reason, I'm succeeding at it. So
well, I think bringing Conor McGregor back into this, his winners focus on winners, or sorry, winners focus on winning, losers focus on winners. Not to call the other radio, show hosts that are jealous of you.
But a
losers.
lot of those people aren't even in radio anymore. Like
there you go.
It's almost like a battle of attrition. They get so mad, and then they keep trying, and then the next thing you know, they're gone. And I'm just like, well, maybe it was you.
Yeah. Well, when you are so stuck on somebody else's achievements and trying to find reasons of why they don't deserve it, or why does everybody like this person,
Yeah.
that takes away from time that they could be focusing on themselves.
If you held a gun to my head and said, "Why does everybody like you?" I couldn't even answer that question. I don't know. I think it's because I don't fake any of it.
You don't. Yeah.
I don't have a fake radio name, even though Jerry Valeri rhymes. It's real.
Yeah.
I don't have a fake personality.
You don't have a fake voice.
Yeah. Some people have a radio voice.
Yep.
I would like to have a little deeper would be nice. I mean, but I don't go in the air. It's not like I'm talking like this and hold on, I've got to do a break. Hey everybody, we're rocking the docks and shaking the lake. Boo, 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 boo.
I think you're right. I think
you're listening to Mad Dog and the Meatball. I just go on and
do your thing,
like it or hate it, and that's followed you a bit too. You've done kind of the same thing, and I never know what to ask about this because I don't know what you're comfortable sharing, what you're not, because some of your rivals are still in the town.
Sure.
But you've experienced that, the infighting and jealousy and get out of this gym, get out of that gym.
Yeah, the way I've always viewed it is, and I love that Connor started pumping that winners focus on winning, losers focus on winners. I don't care. I don't care what you think. It's not that I don't care about other people and their thoughts and whatnot. I don't care if you don't like something that I'm doing, if you disagree with something that I'm doing, because you don't do it. You know what I mean? If I have strong feelings of what I'm doing is correct, then I'll continue doing it.
That's the big difference between us, because up until this point that I'm about to point out, I feel like you and I kind of have parallel paths.
Sure.
And then you say things like, I just don't care what they think. And
you continue.
Oh, I'm just like, you know what? I hope you get hit by a bus in front of your family. I hope your family watches it.
Yeah.
I'm not a great person in that regard. I get so upset. Like,
sure.
if you wanted to ruin my day, you would just be like, you know what, Jerry? I really don't like you much.
And that would bug you too much.
It would make me nuts.
Huh. Yeah, I'll think about it for a second, and then I'll move back on to, okay, what else? What was I doing?
It's a great way to be.
Yeah, and so when you dwell on what somebody else thinks about you, that like I said, it takes away from time that you could be doing something for yourself to better, in your case, your career. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To better your radio personality, if you will. In my case, the more I think about what someone else thinks of me or thinks of what I'm doing, the less I can think about martial arts and bettering myself as a martial artist and bettering my students. So why would I ever let anybody? And I would consider that a win for them.
Yeah. Something I learned from my wife, actually. She's very wise. I don't know why. She's very smart with a lot of things other than picking husbands. So she always says this to the kids when they're like, so-and-so said this about me, or Evan accused me of this. And she said, well, are they right? And then you have to think about it. No, they're not right. Okay, then move on. Are they right? Is what they said true? If someone says something about me, I've got to ask myself, okay, were they right there? Was I wrong, or do I do that? And sometimes I find out
that's healthy.
But then sometimes I find out they are right, and it just makes me angrier.
Well, here's what I do. If I find out somebody's right, like I said, I do think about it for a second, and I make sure, like, wait a minute, is this complete BS, or do they have a point here? I will think about it. There's no problem with changing your opinion on something, Like there's that, what is it? I don't know if it's the Morpheus meme or whatever that's like, what if I told you that changing your opinion is
okay?
Is okay. Yeah.
All right.
So that happens.
Unless you're like Donald Trump and you change your opinion 8 times within an hour.
Yeah, I saw some of those clips yesterday.
Let's not jump into politics.
We won't.
That's muddy water.
Yeah, it really is.
Back to WrestleMania. Do you watch pro wrestling at all anymore?
Not anymore. It's my WrestleMania has been replaced with UFC.
Because is it? I will never call wrestling fake because it's not. They're really hurting
Oh
each
my
other.
God. Well, not only that, they are athletes.
Unbelievably athletic. So I won't use the word fake. I feel like that's insulting to them.
Sure.
But
Entertainment.
But it's it is entertainment. As someone that's following UFC and following martial arts, there's got to be times where they get them in a headlock or they get them in a choke, and you're like, you could finish this. I mean, there's no reason the match goes another 20 minutes. You've got your choke in.
Yeah, in that regard, it is kind of quote unquote fake because they know that too. They know that they're not finishing it.
It's written out. It's predetermined.
Yeah, but no, the physicality of it is 100% real.
And then you've got Brock Lesnar. He's going to be at WrestleMania in a no-holds-barred street fight with Dean Ambrose.
Oh, awesome.
And Dean Ambrose has already introduced the weapons. He came out to the ring with a big wagon,
That's
filled
awesome.
it with a chainsaw, a hammer, a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire.
No way.
So you're going to have an NCAA wrestling champion in Brock Lesnar, former UFC champion.
Yeah.
That he made the news this week because he said he doesn't know where the belts are anymore. They're somewhere in his house. He can't find them. and a former WWE champion. And now he's going to be getting hit with a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire.
Wow.
So after you're done with UFC, there are places to go.
It sounds like it.
Ken Shamrock did it.
That's right.
He went to pro
Josh
wrestling.
Barnett.
Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle won the Olympic gold medal, and then he was one of the best wrestlers.
Yeah. Ronda Rousey. So we have had some UFC transfer over into pro wrestling.
She was at last year's WrestleMania. She didn't do anything,
but she was there.
She put Stephanie McMahon in like an armbar.
Yeah.
And you could see that was an opportunity. Like, I'm choosing not to hurt you.
Sure.
And she'll probably show up again. WrestleMania always has celebrities and stuff. So,
yeah.
But
yeah, I was definitely into it at one point, but UFC has replaced that in my male drama department.
Right. What is your male drama now?
What? It's UFC.
UFC?
Yeah, that's the only thing that I allow to get.
Yeah, but other than Conor McGregor, is there drama? There's never really enough crap talk.
Well, let's talk about John Jones. There's some drama for you.
There's a lot of drama. You're right there.
So to bring everybody up to speed, John Jones got pulled over this week for allegedly, what did they call it? He was racing. He's apparently drag racing. There we go. So he was apparently drag racing another car, and there's a cop cam and everything of it. Who knows what happened? I can't say for sure if it did happen or it didn't happen, but there's some drama for you, and we have him, potentially fighting Cormier soon. Well, if that's off the table, that's annoying.
That is annoying, and it's probably annoying for Cormier.
Oh my God! And
although Cormier's face is probably still healing from that last fight.
Yeah, giving Cormier so much more ammunition because Cormier was already like, John, you're not a good person, and it's like, oh, to hear that, it's like,
yeah,
man, that's tough to hear.
Now John's got to sit and go, is he right?
There you go.
That's what my wife would say to John Jones. Is
Yeah.
he right? And then he would, give her one of these elbows.
That's right. Yeah.
That's the elbow that he got his loss from, right?
12-6.
12-6.
He was beating the crap out of Matt Hamill, and illegal elbow, done.
And that's his only loss.
Only loss.
And it's not really a loss.
It's not a loss. Yeah. But so there's some drama for you. All of that happening, and he's going to have his court hearing and whatnot. He's in jail. They moved him from the whatever you want to call it, the public population of the jail to something that's higher security because they were worried about his safety.
Can you do a 12-6 elbow if you're both standing?
Good question.
Because we were talking about elbows this month, and we did one that goes up and down. So is that illegal?
I think that is still illegal. I don't think it matters if it's on the ground or if it's standing.
It's legal at the Skeller. If someone gets in my face.
Yeah, on the street. But the reason that's illegal, and I'll give Joe Rogan all the credit in the world for bringing this up. I think he's the first person that actually explained it. In fact, I want to explain it on a podcast this week of the reason that it's illegal is they were having a convention in Vegas whenever they were establishing the rules. And this was like a traditional martial arts convention. And they were breaking bricks and ice with their elbow. And the people who were making the rules kind of saw that. And they went, oh, that's too dangerous. We can't have that. But in reality, that elbow, so you have horizontal elbows, you have downward, you have upward elbows, you have straight up, you have straight down.
You could probably break the bricks with all of those
All
elbows.
of them are dangerous, exactly. So for whatever reason, they decided that is too dangerous to do.
Thanks for not making us break ice blocks and sticks.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way,
I've never understood that.
Because don't they bake the boards anyways? It's not like
They usually break it with the grain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have it. So when you hit it, you're going to hit it with the grain, and it's going to break.
you want to be impressed, but like, all right, today we're going to work on ripping phone books in half. Like, talk about
you
a
go.
totally unnecessary skill.
Sure.
You know, breaking cinder blocks with your head.
Yeah,
You don't need it.
I've never understood. Now, I think I do know why they started doing that, and that was because there was less contact within the art. So there's tournaments and whatnot, but what about people who don't want to do tournaments?
That sounds to me like the inspiration for Dog Brothers. They're like, okay, so I know how to break a board in half, but let's do Dog Brothers.
Yeah, yeah. Why don't you actually try to
see if it
do
works?
Some damage. Yeah. And for us, we spar. You know, even the brand new students, not brand new, but the yellow armbands and up, they spar. So there is contact. You know, like you do get an idea of what works and what doesn't work. But when there's no contact in an art, how do you show that what you're doing is powerful? You break things, you know. So
That's what my son does.
So what does he break?
His lightsaber or his Legos.
Wait. He broke his lightsaber?
Not on purpose. Like, he's swinging it around. He's the kind of kid that is not trying to break anything, but he'll walk into the room and be like, boop, 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 broken. He'll walk over to his closet, boop, 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 the door's off. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like the Tasmanian devil.
Wow.
He's trouble.
Yeah, that sounds like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
He's at my mom's all weekend because we're doing a jar and chai this weekend.
That's right.
So the seminars are this weekend. He's going to be at my mom's. And going back to April Fool's Day, the kids were like, we'll prank Grandma. Let's prank Penn State Grandma. We'll go to the house and then we'll tell, Allison said, I'll tell her that I have a surprise for her outside. And then she'll go outside and then we'll throw stuff at her. And I was like, we're not pranking Grandma.
No, that's bad.
If I get a phone call that you knocked Grandma off the porch and I've got to come get you and I missed the seminar, you're dead.
So they have Penn State Grandma and then
New York Grandma.
New York Grandma. Awesome.
There's New York Grandma and Pennsylvania Grandma, and then Evan came along and just calls her Penn State Grandma.
That's good. I've always been curious how some people differentiate the grandmothers and the grandfathers,
Yeah.
and the grandpas and grandmas. In fact, I had one of my ex-girlfriends from high school. She had grandma. We loved grandma.
Okay.
And grandma was awesome. But then there was grandmother.
Oh, I can already tell you, grandmother was hell on wheels.
Grandmother was the one that you did not mess with.
Grandmother was a pill.
Yes. Yeah.
Grandmother. Just the fact
Grandmother.
that you're calling her grandmother, not Grammy or
Yeah.
Grand.
And I would assume that came from grandmother. You call me grandmother. You don't
Yeah.
call me grandma. You know, which just set the stage from the beginning.
One of my friends, we were talking about it. I said, "What do you call your grandpap?" And he was like, "Sir."
Sir.
I was like, "Oh, I bet he's fun. I bet he's a fun time to be around." I had Grandpap Espy and Grandpap Valeri, and Grandma Espy and Grandma Valeri.
And where again did you grow up?
I grew up in Bellwood, so we're in State College. Bellwood's just 30 minutes west, really.
Okay. Yeah. I find Grandpap is very native to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Central Pennsylvania.
Yeah. I had Grandpa. I still have Grandpa. In fact, I call both of them Grandpa, but when I was younger, I had Pa.
Oh, Pa's even.
Just Pa.
Yeah.
And then that's how I thought I spelled his name until I was like 10. I was like, they're like, what's your grandpa's name? I would say Pa.
It's Pa.
P.A.
P.A. That's his name.
Yeah.
I didn't realize until I married someone from New York, Rochester, New York, that area. I didn't realize some of the things are just here.
Yeah.
You know, like Grandpap. My dad was Pappy. It's Grandpap.
Pappy's another one.
Pappy and Grandpap. And my wife, she never got to meet my dad, so my kids never had Pappy. My sister's kids did, but he would have been Pappy. And she was like, "Yeah, my dad is Grandpa, not Grandpap. Grandpap is Pennsylvania. This is New York." I was like, "Oh, New York."
That's hick.
Yeah, it's redneck,
Yeah.
and I get it. We're There's hillbilly all around here.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I find myself now. I think State College is an interesting little anomaly because we have so many educated people within a small area that
it's an insulated pocket.
It really is. But you start moving out, and it just turns into Pennsyltucky.
Look out. Yeah.
Pennsyltucky all day.
Yeah, and that's where I'm from. I'm from Pennsyltucky.
Well, now, you don't have the Pennsyltucky accent or anything.
I don't, but I worked very hard to get rid of it.
Did you? Okay, so you did have it.
I kind of did, and I didn't realize it. My O's were hard. Like if you get closer to Altoona, which is where near I grew up,
sure.
You'll get like those hard O's, like vodka. You say vodka, they say vodka. Vodka. Mom.
Oh, okay.
Mom.
Yeah.
It's that really hard O. It's almost like an A and W going there.
You're right. In fact, I was just talking to my fiance about one of our kids that said go.
Go. Yeah.
And yeah, you're right. It's just it's.
And the one that really got me, and they hammered me when I was an intern on the radio with it until I figured it out. And you growing up in State College, you may not know it or notice it, but it's the lack of infinitives when people were talking. Like instead of saying the car needs to be washed.
Oh yeah.
They say car needs washed.
Yep.
Car does not need washed. Car needs washing, or it needs to be washed. But that's, and it's part of the vernacular to the point where you don't even, it's not necessarily incorrect. My sister teaches English in Altoona, and she says things like needs washed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're missing the infinitive there, but okay.
Yeah. In fact, I want to say at one point I did say that, but then it was explained to me. I like that.
Look at that.
How that was incorrect, so I started using it. I want to say that was in like 11th or 12th grade. But I do remember as well. I remember having some Pennsyltucky things that I said and did, and then when people said, "Yeah, I don't think that's exactly how you do it," going back to if we think we're right or wrong, well, is that however you're right? People don't say it like that.
Well, and I'll say to my wife all the time, I'm not a redneck. I was like, I don't chew and I don't watch NASCAR. And she's like, yeah, but you watch pro wrestling and you pee outside. And you pee outside.
That's right. Yeah.
Just at night.
I do it more than at night. No, you're right. That there's a Pennsylvania.
Everybody, if they don't, they should have a little hillbilly.
They should.
Everybody, because that's fun.
I mean, did you hunt or anything whenever you were a kid?
I kind of wanted to. I don't hunt, but it's not because I think it's inhumane or anything like that. I think that.
Did you have family members that hunt?
Family members that hunt, friends that hunt. I am not patient enough to sit in the woods with a gun and not fall asleep.
Yeah.
Like it's just not fun for me.
I look forward to that. I go into the woods and I do fall asleep on purpose. That's my hunting experience.
I also feel for me at this point, like, because I love venison, deer meat. I have friends that go and they hunt, and then I beg them for meat. I do, and it's hypocritical of me because I won't go do it myself. But for me, why I don't like to hunt, I call it now what.
Now what? After you shoot the deer?
Okay, so you shoot it. Now what?
Yeah.
Now you gotta go over to it, and then now what?
Now what? Now you gotta gut it.
Now you gotta gut it. Now you cut it open. Now what?
Yeah.
Now you gotta pull the guts out.
Right.
Now what? Now you gotta drag it out of there.
Yeah.
Now what?
Wow, I've never thought of it.
No,
this
you
way.
gotta skin it. Like it's just like buh, buh, buh. I've already barfed 10 times. I don't want to eat the meat anymore.
Wow, I've never thought of that.
I'm not that kind of hunter and gatherer. I would rather just go and say, where does your meat come from? It comes from a package in Wegmans.
Sure.
And that's how I eat it. And I didn't have to, I don't care that it had a face at one point in time. I just don't want to be looking at the face while I'm cutting off the antlers. That's all.
I can appreciate that. You
don't mind the now what, the gutting and the pulling and the
I've gutted my share of deer and drug them and butchered them and whatnot. But I've always enjoyed the whole experience of hunting. First off, my dad and I own a cabin. It's like a 19th century like log cabin that's in the middle of somewhere in PA that doesn't exist to anybody other than hillbillies. And going up there, and first off, you're going up and you're going at whatever time during the year, let's say November, and the roads are horrible going up there, so you have to have a four-wheel drive vehicle that's probably going to get stuck at some point. And then you get to the cabin, and you build a fire, and I always enjoyed all that kind of stuff.
See, that's awesome. I would go on a hunting trip with you.
Yeah.
And then while you went hunting, I would read something.
Yeah, and you chill in the cabin.
Yeah.
Here's a funny story.
Or do what you don't do and get drunk.
There you go. Yeah. Oh no, so I do enjoy watching people get drunk.
Okay.
At camp.
Because you don't drink, but that doesn't mean everyone in your life doesn't still drink.
No, I will. I have no control over other people. And
Are you a judgy non-drinker though?
Nope, not at all. Although everyone has always gotten mad that I'm the sober one. People get mad at me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People get mad at me because I'm the sober one out of the group, and you're the one that's going to remember everything. Man, talk about some stories that we would probably have there.
But I would love to have you in my life because I'd have been like, dude, do you know where my bike is?
I could have told you.
Like, do you know where, like, why is there were a lot of days where I'd wake up and be like, I wonder why everybody hates me today. Like, why is everybody so mad at me? Or why is my foot bandaged up? You know, like,
yeah, what happened here?
I had some problems.
How did I rip my pants and my underwear?
Right.
That's a story. Maybe
Where are my pants? There was one morning I woke up, my pants, I eventually found them. They were in the crisper of the fridge.
Wow, that's interesting.
Don't know how they got there. I'm sure that was a great story.
I remember everything from just about every drunken escapade that happened with all my friends. I remember them completely drunk, sitting on, stoops, holding each other, telling each other how much they love one another, and,
Oh, it
crying.
gets so
with
silly.
Oh my God, it's awesome. And I just sit there and shake my head.
But like, you're going to regret that tomorrow if you remember it.
Yeah, and if they don't remember it, I'll remember it for them.
I'll let them know.
So
well, no wonder they got mad at you.
Yeah, that's what gets me in trouble.
You're
Remember
like-
last night when you guys were holding hands? What?
You're like the court stenographer of drinking parties.
That's exactly what it is.
That could get annoying.
Yeah.
Not anymore, because I can't remember the last time I got drunk, like super drunk.
Yeah.
Now I'll have maybe a beer or two, and even now I don't drink. I very rarely drink at all because I'm always like, I'm going to class tonight. I'm not gonna have a beer, or I had class today. I'm not gonna have a beer.
That always stopped me.
I find that's helping stop me.
Yeah.
So it's not like this moral high ground you're taking. You just don't like it.
Well, whenever I was younger, I didn't want to spend money on beer, and drugs and stuff. I'd rather spend money on something else. And then I also I saw my friends hungover, and I saw them high, and I said, I would hate to feel like, I would hate to feel hungover, and the whole high thing, like, I saw how paranoid some of my friends would get. And I didn't want to be paranoid in any way. So.
If I may play armchair psychiatrist, I feel as if you're not one that likes to relinquish control very easily.
I think you're right. Yeah. I think that's part of it as well.
And you do. And when you get hammered drunk, you
have no control.
Equilibrium is a privilege and not a right. You can fall down at any time.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's part of one of the reasons. Yeah, I didn't want someone else to decide when I should or should not go to the bathroom.
But hunting camp, I would eat the venison and drink the beer.
Yeah,
that's what I would do.
Yeah, that's fun time.
That's what I bring the jokes. It's like when I go golfing with people.
Yeah,
I'll bring jokes. I will lose all the golf balls, but I tried to do golfing. I can't do golf. I can't golf.
What is it that's hard for you? Is it?
I don't know. Every time I hit the ball, it just slices to the left. I'm a left-handed golfer, and when I hit it, the ball just goes away from me. And I tweak every little thing, and there's such body control. Plus, I don't like giving up 4 hours of my day, 5 hours of
It takes a long time.
It's a beautiful Saturday. Why am I not playing with my kids right now? Why am I golfing?
Sure.
So that's kind of it.
My opinion, I think a lot of people that golf do it to get away from insert whatever here.
I believe that.
Kids, family, job. I get that. But that's pretty awesome that you don't have to worry about getting away from that. And
no,
you'd rather hang out with them.
Well, you need to get away from it sometimes.
Sure.
So and they'll make me crazy. I'll come here and I'll hit pads, and that's good. But it's an hour and a half, and then I'm home.
Yeah.
And then I'm good, and then we're all ready to go.
Yeah.
But golfing, and my mom said, she actually just said it on Easter, right after I'd been traumatized. We were talking about golf, and she said that your father didn't golf for the same reason. Like, he just couldn't give up a Saturday to golf when you guys were here.
You know what you don't see a lot of is golfing selfies.
No.
You don't see that, do you?
No.
I can you think of, now I've seen
I'm
people
sure I've
have it
seen
with a picture of their friends while they're golfing, but you never see someone that's golfing. It's like,
I've seen once or twice because I've seen selfies. Everybody takes selfies now. 18 people died this past year in 2015. They died taking selfies.
going across the street or whatever, or doing it on a building or a cliff.
Yeah, doing it in a dangerous, dumb place. One of the dudes was running with the bulls in Pamplona, decided to stop and take a selfie.
Oh my God.
What are you doing?
Have you ever taken a selfie? Be honest.
Oh, of course I have.
You have?
Yeah, I have. I sometimes I can say it's for work.
Sure.
Because I'm at a broadcast and someone
Sure.
wants to take a selfie. Also, this weekend I'm doing this event, Happy Valley's Got Talent at the State Theater. I did it last year, and during the silent auction, some woman said she would give like $400. Her son wanted a selfie with me.
Yeah.
So they bid $400 to the Tides, and then he came up, and I did a selfie with him. So
No,
I've done.
see, I have done that. In fact, with our youth belt presentations, I actually have kids that come up and want to do a selfie with me. I think that's cute.
A selfie with Sifu, of
Yeah,
course.
sure. But I have never done the, hold it up here, get the perfect angle.
I love how
do
the
kiss
I love
face.
how the perfect angle. Now you'll have to tell me if I end up.
Uh-oh.
The perfect angle is like Google Earth view.
Yes,
Like
there you
all
go.
the way up.
Yeah, that's
high,
perfect.
it goes like, hey, how's that? Do I even look like myself anymore?
Hold on, it's still on me. You got to talk into your mic. That's the problem.
Okay, move the mic. Is that high enough? Can I get it any higher? How about that?
That's
yeah.
it?
Yeah, is that good? Oh, great. Snap. Doesn't look anything like me.
No, I think you're right. I think.
How am I on the mic there or the camera?
Turn it
Look
a
good.
little bit towards
There.
there. You go. You're good.
I
You're right.
I don't get it. I work with a guy that I feel like he's textbook in some kind of like mental issue.
So
Just
so
take
hasn't
selfies.
that been actually it is a condition of selfiness? Isn't that actually a thing now?
Well, I think the old-fashioned term is narcissism.
There we
isn't
go.
it?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
that's what it is. It's I always feel, and I do this on the air. I ask myself, just because it happened to you doesn't make it interesting. So just because I'm in the photo doesn't make it worth putting online.
I would also rather see what you were in the photo with more than you.
Right.
I want to see that sunset. I know who you are.
People go to the Mayan ruins and they take a selfie, and I can see like half a ruin over their shoulder.
Yeah,
I don't want to see you again.
No,
Take
exactly.
a picture of the ruins.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about Facebook and being able to hide people. As soon as someone just starts going crazy with selfies, I'm like, bye-bye.
That's it. We're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not much of a selfie guy. Kids and listeners and things like that.
Sure.
And I am guilty of it.
Yeah.
But it's not too much. I feel like it's not too much.
I challenge you, and I challenge anybody to try to find a selfie of me taking a picture of myself ever.
Well, I've seen one, but
No
it
way.
was with youth
Yeah, that
martial
doesn't
arts.
count. That doesn't count.
Doesn't count because
I wasn't holding the camera. I do have some on. This is actually funny. I do have some on my phone.
yeah, selfies with Sifu sounds fun,
Yeah.
and it's a great hashtag.
During Christmas, I had a relative that got me a selfie stick, which is it was whatever, a $2.99 essentially gag gift that I thought was great. and so I took a whole bunch that way. But
Are you looking for them now?
I am. I have never taken a picture
A non-ironic
of
selfie.
myself, by myself.
You only
we
have
go.
one picture of
Here we go.
yourself.
These
in-
are awesome. Okay, so this is me, and hold on, I'll get one that's a little bit better. Yes, that's awesome. So this is
Show
me and my mom's husband's 92-year-old mother. Here, we'll do this.
All right,
Let's see.
you
Let's
talking
see if
to
we
Mike?
can bring. Look at that. Look at that. No shame whatsoever.
You look super serious there. You look happy to be doing it.
Yeah, so again, we got some humor there, and that's why I loved it. And that was with the selfie stick. I'll take that off now.
So you're done with that. You can delete it.
Yeah. Oh no. It goes on and on. I mean, here, let's just. I mean, you can look at all of those on there.
Okay, so the day you got the selfie stick was the day you took all the selfies.
Yes,
And
and I
that
took
was
a whole bunch of them, and then that was it. But I've never posted them. Oh, I'm lying. I've done them with.
Well, today you need to post them on the.
I've done them with my cat.
Oh, you do cat selfies.
I'm lying. But I never. Okay, that's doing it with an animal or something cute. But I don't think I've.
You have such a soft side for pets.
There we go. Oh, I love pets. I love cats. Dogs are cool. Cats, they're their own like being. You know what I mean? Like dogs. I've seen it. I've seen people say that dogs or cats. Sorry, let me get this right. Dogs think they're humans. Cats know they're cats.
Yeah,
they know they're not humans. That's why I dig cats. Like they have their own thing going on, and if they want you to be part of it, they'll let you know.
I've heard it explained as dogs have owners, cats have staff.
Yes, yeah, that's exactly what it is.
I dated a girl who had a cat, and that thing would come around and cuddle and purr when he wanted to be fed.
That's right.
And that was it. And then every once in a while, if my feet would hang out over the bed, he would, slice my Achilles tendon just to let me know he was there.
Yep.
I think I'm mildly allergic to cats because I don't know. I play with my dog all the time. And if he gets a little toothy or whatever, I don't mind. He's not biting or nipping at me, and we play rough. I tried to do that with my friend's cat, and the cat didn't get mad at me. The cat was just playing, like batting me around, and one of the claws was just like, sink, whoop, just got me just a little bit. I had a mark on my hand for a month.
Yep.
It got red and lifted and inflamed, and I was like,
cat scratch fever.
What in the world? They're jungle beasts. We've just found a way to make them miniature.
Small. Oh my God, that's awesome! I love it.
Because some people have 200-pound dogs. If you have a 200-pound cat, it's in a zoo.
Yes.
So,
have you seen? First off,
a zoo.
We have now the ability to bring in our screen now, so I can actually put this up on that screen right there, so you can look at it. I don't know if that's very convenient for you.
Okay. So whatever you put up, I can see on the TV.
Yes. So there we go. So first off, let me bring this in real quick.
We're trying a lot of new things today.
We are. All right. So I'm gonna turn off our mic switching for a second.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to this amazingness right here. Look at that. Look at, like, speaking of animals, like how awesome is that? I can watch that all day.
Looks like a rubber, like galoshes, like a rubber boot in the wind.
There you go. I think it looks like you remember the whoopee cushions?
Yeah.
I think that's the sound it probably is making right now.
My gosh, and it's that dog's loving his life right now.
Yes.
He's feeling so good.
Yes.
I hope that dog's name is Mick Jagger.
Mick Jagger.
He's got Mick Jagger lips.
You're right.
Just flipping and flopping all around.
That's exactly what it is.
I love that we can now put stuff from the computer on the podcast. Did that work?
Yeah. Thanks to Martin again. We got to give him props.
Yeah, he's been killing it.
The reason I brought this up was this one cat that's sitting in the. This cat is chilling in the dash of a car, and the car is moving, and I think I posted it on Brooks' wall. The car is moving, and it's just totally like chilling with its eyes open.
Cats are so weird.
Keep talking. Let me try to find this.
Okay, you find that. Animal videos will always make me laugh.
Yes.
If it's not an animal video, it's got to be people getting hurt. That's what I go to for the internet. That's my go-to. My kids love cat videos. My wife loves pygmy goats. Like she wants to get a pygmy goat in the house, and I said I feel like that would. You think the kids are rough on the furniture?
Goats are awesome, though.
I mean, are they? The small ones are cute, but what's awesome about them? They eat shoelaces and tin cans.
Okay.
What in the world?
Hold on, let me pause this so everyone else can watch. Like, this is just the amazingness that is cats. Look at this. How amazing! It's awake. It's just chilling there.
Yeah, you have to make sure it's not a dead cat before you laugh at it.
Yeah, look at that. It's just like, what's up? Obviously, it's a young cat, but that is so like.
Oh my gosh.
I want to be that cat.
If you hadn't told me to focus on the eyes, I'd have been like, oh, funny video, Ryan. You put a cat corpse on a dash and drove around town.
The cat is awake and it's enjoying its life to the fullest degree right now.
Just getting a little sun.
I think that's what's happening.
Yeah, See, I don't know. Do you subscribe to some page that posts all these cat videos and dog videos? Because you and Miss Brooke find the best pet videos before anybody else.
Yeah, I do. There's a whole bunch of them.
So in your life, it's dudes fighting or cats.
Yes. Dudes and cats. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, I can do that, and I can do just about any animal video. I do not like snakes.
No.
I can't do it. I can't do snakes. I can't. There's a guy that goes to the gym with us. He actually works at Shavers Creek Environmental Center, and he has like a 13-foot python. And I've talked to him about bringing in a snake into my radio show.
What is it that scares you about snakes?
I don't know. I just don't. They make me uneasy. The fact that like they could just kill me, and there's no way to convince them otherwise.
Whoa. I think you're going a little bit off the charts here.
No, I'm not.
What? So a venomous snake can kill you.
So can a 15-foot anything.
No, it can't.
Anything. If that filing cabinet over there was alive, it could find a way to kill me.
Yeah, but it's also 500 pounds probably. But so other than venomous snakes, how can they kill you?
They wrap around you, don't they? They choke you up and
They're
then they swallow you whole.
No,
they swallow you whole.
But I think that's a myth. I don't know that they've ever found one that has actually swallowed a human. Have they?
Do you ever see the movie Anaconda with Ice Cube?
Yes, I have. Good point. Good point. Never mind, I'm wrong.
See, I base all of my facts on that stuff. That's why I'm afraid of gorillas, because of Congo.
Movie. Man. Oh, that's another scary clip. Did you see that one? The one guy's at a zoo and he's smiling in front of the gorilla exhibit, and the gorilla just flies at the window and just smashes into it. It's going at the window, going brrr, and then boom, slams into it.
They're wild beasts and they're kept in captivity, and I don't care if they're domesticated or if they're raised in captivity. They still, like, at some point there's something in their genetics, in their brain that goes, I'm to eat you here, I think.
We're back to snakes, though. You think that's how snakes think?
I don't know. I'm just uneasy with it. The whole slithery, slimy.
What about lizards?
Lizards don't worry me so much, but big ones do, and venomous ones certainly do. Komodo dragons are terrifying.
Yeah, they are.
Crocodiles. I was in Florida a few weeks ago, and I was taking a run, and I'm not a fast guy, okay, but I can run. You know, I lumber along.
Sure.
Then all of a sudden, beside me, I see a crocodile coming out of the lake.
No way.
Like coming out, and you want to talk speed ups. I've never run so fast. Like 5-minute miles. Woof, I must have looked like a cartoon. Like my legs looked like a big cloud of dust, and then pow, I was gone.
Wow. That must have been terrifying.
It is. It is at the beginning of the week in Florida. And then 2 weeks in Florida, you realize that like
it happens all the time.
People see alligators all the time. Florida is absolutely insane. We have friends in Florida that posted a picture. There was a panther on their back
Black
deck.
panther?
Not a black panther, just a panther.
I thought all panthers were
like a bobcat-looking panther, like a Florida
I don't think
panther.
a bobcat is a panther.
But if you look, you ever see the logo for the Florida Panthers?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not a black panther. If you look, look it up.
I might be wrong.
I think panthers are brown. This was a brown panther. Maybe it was a brown bobcat panther. I don't know. It was a jungle beast, Ryan. Just trust me. It was a lion. It could have been a lion for all I care.
Okay, I just searched brown panther, and it brought up a British thoroughbred racing horse.
Well, that was what was on the deck in Florida. I'd have to show you my picture of what it was. I wonder if I can find it.
Brown panther. Are we talking a mountain lion? Is a mountain lion considered a panther?
Could have been, maybe.
I know a mountain lion is a cougar.
I don't know a lot about animals. I just know that this thing looked scary. Here it said saw panthers. Here's the picture of the panther. All right, I'm going to talk and tell me if it's in the screen there. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so there it is. And it was on their deck.
It's a mountain lion. But I don't know. Maybe those are called cougars. Panthers. Talk again and show that to the camera one more time.
Okay, so here it is. They said it was a panther. I just believed them it's a panther. One way or another, it would eat you and your children.
That is on their deck.
On their deck. right in the back of their
Florida.
house in Florida. And last year they had a black bear, and then they had a gator, and then
Do they have pets?
who needs them?
Yeah, I know. Good call.
Who needs
And if you
them?
have them, I would assume they get eaten rather quickly.
Totally toast. I wouldn't want my dog there. I wouldn't want my kids there.
No.
Florida's the worst. It's hot. It's humid. It's a swamp. It's a jungle.
Yeah.
Get me out of there.
Yeah, and it rains.
Yeah. So I don't know what got me talking about snakes, but like I don't like snakes. I don't like bugs. I had a stink bug almost touch my you-know-what on Easter.
What? How'd that happen?
Well, I was in my mom's bathroom. I was upstairs in the bathroom. I'm going to the bathroom. So you've got your legs, and you know how. I mean, you know what is going on there.
Sure.
In between your legs, there's a little bit of bowl that you can see, and then right behind where is your business.
Yeah.
You've got your business.
Yeah.
I'm looking out the window. I can see the kids playing in the backyard and everything, and just out of the corner of my eye, I see movement down by my stuff. I'm very protective of my
And you think it's a snake coming up through the
pee-pee.
bowl.
Well, that's another fear I have. I have an irrational fear of things getting me coming up through the bowl.
Yeah.
so I look down, and there is a stink bug just tick, 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 like I don't know where it came from, walking across the bowl like an inch away from.
Because we don't know what their little pincher things can do.
He was right beside the command center, and I was like,
Wow.
"Moo!" And I just stood up, mid-loaf, stood up and was smash, smash, kill, kill, smash. And now I've got another mess to take care of on top of
Yeah,
that
and it
mess.
stinks. And people come in and they smell loaf and
Loaf, and I've got bug guts and poop all over
and
myself.
stink bugs stink.
And I went downstairs, and my mom was like, "What was going on up there?" And I was like, "Well, there must have been a stink bug in your bathroom, and it touched my penis."
I advise flicking them. I flick them to where they need to go. I would have flicked it into the toilet and flushed.
I don't think you would have flicked it. If I could have, I would have thrown a Molotov cocktail at
Wow.
it. Like I wanted it. It could have been a tarantula. Like my brain started sending me crazy
that is
signals.
fear. That is real fear. You're right. You're scared of bugs.
Well, I'm not scared of bugs.
No.
I'm scared of anything that close to my you-know-what. Like it could have been a puppy. It's too close. You're too close.
I have stories about
People getting too close?
about myself and dogs. Let's just say.
Oh, no.
So up until this point, I think I've told maybe 2 people, and my fiance was there for it.
I love you're going to jump from 2 people to everybody.
This is everybody now. I was playing tug with a rope with my dog, and this was back in college. I was in college, so it was a smaller house. I think less than 500 square foot house, one of those little kid houses. And we're in this little small hallway that connects the bathroom and the bedroom, and I'm playing tug with him, and I pull it out of his mouth, and he lunges for it, and I bounce against the wall, and he goes waboom, and locks right on. And we're talking 115-pound Rottweiler. And now, gentlest of any Rottweiler I've ever had, he realized what he had just bitten. And
That's worse than a stink bug.
He got the twig, not the berries. Berries were fine.
Oh, no.
And he lets go, and immediately I'm like, oh my God, I don't have one anymore. It's gone. It's gone.
Lorena Bobbit just bit me.
And my fiance is sitting on the couch, and I just immediately drop everything to make sure I still have it.
Was it wounded in any way?
Yes.
Scar.
Yes.
My goodness.
I've got Rottweiler teeth marks.
Did you have
on
to go
myself.
Did you have to go to the hospital?
No, I didn't need stitches or anything. Yeah, so everyone knows that now. I went from 2 people to everybody.
2 people to everybody. Now everybody will know, like,
Yeah.
that's what's going on with your stuff.
So if you ever want to know what it's like to be bitten by a Rottweiler on the stuff, I can tell you.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Talking about fear. I was fearful that I had lost the tip of my twig.
Yeah, and the very top of it and everything. I don't think women will ever understand how attached we are to that.
Yes.
Like I really would be. I'd be less hurt and less. And I don't mean physically. I mean emotionally. I would miss my finger less.
That's exactly what it is.
I would miss my thumb less.
Yep.
Maybe my hand. We start talking about whole limbs. I would choose a limb, I think, over myself. Because I'm 38 and married.
Sure.
I barely use it anyways.
Yeah, you don't really need it as much
I
anymore.
don't need it at all. I have 2 kids and
There
I'm
you go.
done.
You're good.
It just gets me in trouble at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we are attached to them, aren't we?
More than a lot of things.
I'm surprised that I didn't lose it on that day. Like, I look back to that day and say that would have been a very large life-changing event for me.
Oh, yeah.
I probably would have went into seclusion for the rest of my life and not wanted to talk to anybody.
It would have been a bad day for you, your fiance. Everybody would have been
And
bummed.
what if he would have like just chomped and then
Like a treat.
and it's gone.
Like a bacon strip.
So then you ask yourself, like, do you make him throw it? Oh.
Like, what do you do? Give it back!
So it's giving me chills thinking about.
Do you
the whole
walk around and
experience.
follow them around like those potheads do when their dogs eat their weed? Like, you're just like, what are you following your dog around for? Well, he ate my penis, you see. And I'm just waiting for him to pass it.
See, I have experiences like this, so I don't need drugs. Getting back to the whole drugs thing.
Yeah, people think that my stories are all made up, like it's stranger than fiction. And yours are the same way.
But here's the thing, like, I would have totally never thought about that if we wouldn't have got onto the topic of Jerry and the stink bug by his penis. Sorry to try to one-up you on that. I didn't mean to, by the way.
Listen, I'm glad you could one up me
Sorry.
on that. I'm actually sorry that you had
Yes.
that happened.
And I had to share that with the world.
Like your dog went all Lorena Bobbit.
Man, that was scary.
Can you believe Lorena Bobbit ever had a boyfriend again?
Wow, I never thought
Like
of
she's
that.
with somebody now. I think she's married. She's out of jail. She's married.
Huh.
How's that guy sleep at night?
Yeah, how about it? I never thought of that.
Like I could see like, okay, it's time for bed, honey. I'm gonna go lock away all the scissors and all the knives, and I'll be up in a minute.
That's right. Oh,
No,
sorry, I'm scarred from talking about that.
I think that's great. You know, good things come when you put yourself out like that.
yeah. Sometimes.
You won't see any of it, but I
No.
mean, like people will be like, I really like that part.
Yeah,
and
I liked hearing about how Ryan got chomped in the twig.
right in the twig and not the berries.
No.
If you had to lose one, which would you pick? The berries, right?
I consider them all equal. You have 3 equal parts, I think.
At this point, I don't think so.
You don't need the berries.
Once you've reproduced, like who
You
needs
don't
the
need
berries?
them. Yeah.
I'll finally be able to cross my legs properly.
Huh. Never thought of that. I would I consider them all equal. So I would not equal. I would want to lose 1 ball
Okay.
before I lost the twig.
I think I'll go on record and say I'd rather lose both balls and 6 fingers before. Yeah. Just walk around like this, like, hey, but I still have it, baby.
That's right. That's right. Ooh, all right.
On that note,
Yeah, I think that's a good wrap up point. Man.
it's hard to follow that. It's
Yes,
all.
it is. And we'll just end there. We went from talking about kittens on dashes
Right.
to that.
Right. And I'm almost glad that Tamden McCrory wasn't here to witness those stories.
That's right.
We would have talked about something completely different.
Yeah, which, by the way, Tamden McCrory just had a beautiful baby boy.
Oh, congratulations.
So he was unable to make it to the podcast this week, but he will be back down at some point for a seminar, and we'll definitely have him on.
But we have a third mic. We're ready to do
We're
guests.
ready. Yeah, if people have suggestions of any guests, we can totally put a guest in that seat. And
Just watch out because anything goes. Really.
anything goes.
Anything goes.
Yes, the gloves are off, except for when we're talking about needing things with gloves.
Yeah. We're 3 for 3, by the way. 3 weeks in a row, we've ended up talking about our junk at some
You're
point.
right. I never thought about that.
It always goes there.
Wow. All right. Well, on that note, it's not night, so I can't say good night podcast, but we can say goodbye podcast.
Have a great afternoon, podcast.
Yes. Good night podcast.
Bye-bye, podcast.